How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Benji's Vlogs and Whatnots 2.0. I am Benji. Weekend has arrived and we are basically getting set up to do a certain thing for today. We do have the pizza oven running as we speak. We're not going to do it right now. We just want to know how hot this pizza oven gets. We need to get it up around 400 degrees Celsius, which, what does this say? Well and truly over 700 degrees Fahrenheit. This one only gets up to about 350. It is on full pelt as the moment, and it's only sitting on close to 100 degrees Celsius, which is well and truly past 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, we're just gonna have to sit and wait, see what sort of temperature it gets up to. If it gets only up to 300 degrees, I'm not going to complain about that. As you guys can see, that is slowly creeping up. It's well and truly past 100 degrees at the moment. So we're going to have to just sit and wait and see what it does if it gets more so above 100 degrees. And that propane tank gas bottle is sitting on about just under half a propane tank. So I've got that one there plus the one that I use for my little melting. So if I need to go and get that to finish off the job, then so be it. But we just want to know how hot this thing gets. While we wait, there is something that we can do, and that is basically clean this lid up. As you can see, there's little bits of rust that is starting to form on the top of here. So I'll get that off, get some baking soda and some vinegar, and we'll give that a nice decent clean, and then we should be able to, as you would say, get going. There's a little bit of rust there too. I might just give the outside of this a nice clean as well. I don't need to go too nuts with it, just enough to get the rust off it so we can do the whole thing in one go. So unfortunately we don't have any baking soda, but we do have a little bit of the white vinegar. So I'm going to give this a go, give it a bit of a wipe down to see if it actually does anything. I might just pour a little bit onto the lid, wipe it around, see if it brings the rust off. If it does, sweet. If not, no big deal. I know there's a couple of ways we can do it. 50-50 of this, so 500 mils of water, 500 mils of that. 50-50, or baking soda made into a paste, wipe it over, sprinkle a dab of that on there, and then just wipe it off and dry it off as quickly as possible. And I know a lot of people are going to turn around and say, oh, why don't you just get like sandpaper and just bloody rub it with that. We don't work that way. We try and use minimal abrasiveness on our stuff. So we're going to try a bit of this. Yep, that's definitely vinegar. Alright, so I'm really just going to give this a little bit of this, a little bit of paper towel. I'm just going to give it a quick once over, see if this does anything for us. To be honest with you, it may not work the way that we have intended for it. Some of it is coming off, but not the way that we'd hope for it. Might need something that's a little bit more abrasive to come over and do this. This might take me a couple of minutes just to do a once over. Might have to do what it's suggested, do 50-50 and use some sort of abrasive thing. So I reckon I'm just going to have to suck it up with the fact that it's going to be rusty on the outside, or it's going to get rusty on the outside regardless of what I do. I'm still going to give it that little coat to try and slow it down just that wee bit. But this oven is looking like it might be up to its final temperature at the moment. So it looks like it's on about 280, 270 degrees Celsius, which is about 530 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. So that looks like it's pretty much where it needs to be, or going to be. It does look like it's still slightly growing with heat, but I reckon about 550 or 540 degrees Fahrenheit is where it's going to sit. And a little FYI guys, I am not a professional at this, so don't take my advice. I am just primarily seasoning my little Dutch oven and a couple of my little skillets that I've got sitting in there. So whether or not we basically do the skillets, or two of the skillets with the Dutch oven, I don't know yet. We'll see how things go. Even though the skillets are pre-seasoned, I will be doing a couple more seasonings on those skillets. I'm going to do the little baby one, and I'm going to do the medium-sized one, because I know that there is just enough space in the cupboards in there that we can put them into. So we may end up having to do it tomorrow, but that is alright. Today was primarily to see if we can clean up the Dutch oven a bit with the rust, and to test this oven on how hot it gets. Yep, it looks like it's still rising, so it might get up to 540 degrees Fahrenheit. So I've also got this little tray set up. It's mainly a little drip tray for putting underneath your car for any oil. I've also bought up some of my little furnace gloves that we're going to use to basically manhandle this stuff around, because as you know, 300 degrees on bare hand is not going to be good. We're also going to be basically using a canola oil cooking spray to give us that nice little coat, alongside with some basic household paper towel. So the thing gets up to about 270 degrees Celsius, or just over 550 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think that will hopefully be suffice, because I know that the oven that we've got inside is an electric one, which I know for a fact will not get up to the temperature that we need. But that is alright. Our main goal is primarily to get the inside of it seasoned and everything else in between. And if we can do the outside to slow the rust down, we'll be very happy. But at this given time, we're very satisfied with the fact that the pizza oven can get up to where we need it to go. If anyone wonders what our pizza oven is, it's a Cool Bar Outdoor. It is a propane LPG driven gas oven. So I know that Aldi sold these a while back. This is probably going back about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more. But yeah, this thing will do suffice for what we are after. And I can tell you right now, that temperature is shooting down relatively quick. So I do have another gas bottle down in the shed, so if that one runs out, we can just run down to the shed and grab the one that I use for my little furnace. So we've managed to get a little bit of the rust off the surface of the Dutch oven, which I'll show you guys tomorrow before we season it. We are going to do the whole kit and caboodle, inside and out. May as well get it done, just to primarily slow the rust process down on the outside, but mainly want to get the inside done more or less. So we want to do one major coat on the outside and then do one more coat on the outside, but we want to do about 4 coats on the inside. But we're not going to worry about that now because it is nearly 11 o'clock at night, so we are going to go to bed. And yeah, I'm also going to have a bit of time to think about what skillets that I want to do, whether I want to do the small one or medium and large, or small, medium. Something to think about at this given time. But for now, we're going to go to bed and basically think about it between now and morning. Alright, the moment of truth. We've just ran down to the shop to grab a couple of cans of the canola spray. That's all we're really going to use, is a couple of cans of this to season up our Dutch oven and 2 of the 3 skillets that we've got. So as you guys can see with this, it still has a little bit of the seasoning right here from the last time we did it, but it's all pretty much dried up. So we are going to spray all in there and all around the outside. As you can see with the lid, we did get most of the rust out of it, which is good, but still going to need to do a seasoning on that to minimize rust. So we're going to get everything set up, and then we can basically slam it straight into the oven. So we'll set you guys up and then we can get started. Alright, so we're going to coat the outside first. Make sure that we don't spray the table or ourselves for that matter. I reckon that right there is going to be somewhat of a decent coat. Grab ourselves some paper towel and basically start wiping down by the looks of it. I may have used just a wee bit too much, but that's alright. I don't mind that at all. It's all going to eventually burn off anyway, so that's the majority of the outside done. Now, alright, I think that there is pretty much right. Now it's time for us to chuck this into a very nicely heated Dutch oven, pizza oven. Now all we got to do is let that cook for about half an hour, 45 minutes. It is up to about 500 degrees Fahrenheit, just over 250 degrees Celsius. So we're going to let that sit there for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll get it out, give it another coat, and see how it goes. So that was coat number 2. We've got another 3 to do. I'm not going to bore you guys too much with that. We also do have to do the lid at some point after the thing. We'll do the same thing with that. We'll do one big coat first off, leave it in for about half an hour, and then come back and do another 4 coats on that once it's done. And even with my gloves, it still feels pretty warm, but not as hot as when I do furnace work down in the shed. So unfortunately this camera has been glitching out a little bit. I did have a charger on it as we were filming, and every time that we tried to record, it basically just shut straight down. So hopefully it hasn't caused file corruption, because I tell you what, I'd be pretty peeved if it did that. But yeah, second coat, I'm going to do another 3 and everything else in between. I'll probably show you the last one when we get up to that. Alrighty guys, this is what 4 coats look like thus far, and we're on the final coat as we speak. So this time around we're going to leave it in for about half an hour after we've done this coat. I tell you what, it certainly smells like we're cooking up a storm with fish. But I can tell you right now, there is no fish. Whew. Alright, now that is done. Time to do their Alright, final time in the oven guys, 45 minutes. Just like that. Gotta wait 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll start doing the lid. So we've just pulled out the Dutch oven and she is looking beautiful guys. I am very impressed with the way it has come out. As you guys can see, she looks very beautiful indeed. There's a couple of bits where the handle's sort of giving off a little bit of gunk. That's alright, I'll just get like the cloth and just give that slight little white down and everything else in between, but I'm very happy with that. And that is one little job done. Now I've got the medium-sized skillet and the lid into the Dutch oven, not Dutch oven, pizza oven. But yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome of this, to be absolutely honest with you. Very happy indeed. And just like that, guys, with about 4.5 hours up our sleeve of doing 3 little things in the pizza oven, they are done. I'm not going to worry too much about doing the other 2 today. I do still have the little baby one and the really big skillet to get sorted out, but we'll sort those out later. But I tell you what, they are looking bloody gorgeous. And I'd just like to remind everyone, I'm not a professional at this. So don't take my word for it. There are people out there that know exactly what they're doing. I've learned off, I'm going to put his name in the description on the video. King Brown is his name. He lives up northern parts of Victoria, who does this professionally, and he uses Dutch ovens quite a lot, so I want to put him into this video. Go check him out, and he does a lot of cooking with said things. But I'm going to quickly show you guys these finished products, and I'm very, very happy to say the least. So this one here has just come out of the thing. Look at how nice that looks. It's the same with that one there. That does look bloody beautiful. Spinifex is the brand of this very thing, and even inside there looks bloody gorgeous. I am very much in love. And even the bloody handle itself got bloody coated in oil, and that goes to show what is exactly on in there is this layer of oil. It's all in there, and that's exactly what you want for these cast iron bits and pieces. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to be using these a lot more for steaks and everything else in between. And these ones are going to be more for stews on the fire pit once we get them up and running. So there you have it, guys. We have done what we have set out to do for this weekend. We've done, I can't even remember what I've done Friday and everything else in between, but we are very satisfied, to say the least. A bit concerned about this camera though, because it started having a bit of a conniption while it was on the charge. Didn't want to film while it was on the charge, so there is just a handful of corrupt files, which sucks, because one of them was us getting the stuff out of that. But anyways, guys, I am very happy with that, and basically there's nothing else we need to do for today. There will be a time where I will use that skillet for a small steak of some sort, or lamb or whatever, but that won't be until future days to come. So for now, it is that part of the video where I say arrivederci. Hope you guys enjoyed, hope you guys learnt something from this, because we certainly have. First time that we've ever seasoned anything, for that matter, especially cast iron skillets and Dutch ovens. But anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I've blabbered on too much and I've taken enough of your time, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, as always. I do always appreciate it when you guys do come along and watch these. And again, I'm not a professional. And again, King Brown is the guy that you need to go and see to get a professional advice on cast iron stuff. But anyways, guys, I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always, keep it cheesy.